All right, Kirby and the Dogs are getting ready for Kentucky, and they're very eager to see the return of A.D. Mitchell. This is what Kirby said on Monday about Mitchell and his possible return. I'm reading word for word. He says, "I can't say for certain on AD's status." He said, "The MRI and the X-rays don't show that anything was done. He felt like he might have tweaked it some. That slowed his progress, but it's a pain in the butt injury. And like I've talked about repeatedly, it didn't have an option to do uh, to go. Excuse me." It didn't have an option to go do the tightrope and do the surgery that Tillman got, Tua got, Arian got. That wasn't an option. He said, so it's been frustrating for him. He wants to get back. He works really hard at it. He was better last week than he's been in any previous week. He actually got to do individual drills last week and did some things, but he's still not, or at least last week. I don't know where he could be this week because I haven't seen him yet, but he's not where he could come out of breaks and do the things required to play receiver, and that's tough. So he stayed there. He stayed in Athens, talking about versus going to Mississippi State. He said he got extra rehab here. Felt like he got a little bit better rehab here, not having to go be all on it all weekend during the game. So again, we're hopeful to get him back this week, but it will be day by day. Now, along the way, Georgia has had to toggle things. A.D. Mitchell has not played since September. And Georgia's offense you can tell that he's not playing um, because they don't really try to go down the field, I guess you could say. But Mitchell is still, I don't know, what is that? He's got more receptions than several people on the team, including Arian Smith, guys like that, Eric Gilbert. But it's been, in terms of receptions, it's been Ladd McConkey with 43 of them, and then Brock Bowers with 39. I don't want to skip somebody because I'm not in order here, but Kenny McIntosh has had 31, and Darnell has had 24. Marcus Rosemary-Jack Saint, and then Kieris. But in terms of yardage, it goes Brock, Ladd, Darnell, Kenny, Kieris, and then Marcus Rosemary-Jack Saint. So we have seen that Georgia can really get the ball rolling. The thing about it is that A.D. Mitchell, at the time that he got hurt, was averaging about 25 yards a game, 23, let's call it. So that's not nothing. I mean, that's a quarter of the field, right? So um, he's one of the few guys, I don't know about few, he's one of the people that's actually scored a touchdown receiving this year. This is a person that Georgia's going to need at some stage. Now, when that will happen, I don't know. The closeness between him and Stetson Bennett shouldn't be undervalued either. Um, this is a Georgia team that needs explosion, whether it's from Kieris or A.D. Mitchell or Ladd McConkey. They need it, and A.D. provides more of that. That's just the thing. He provides more of that. We've got our event with Kieris with Kelee Ringo on Sunday at 5:30. I will be sending out notes to everyone who's gotten that soon. You may have the ability to still get it. Click the link down below if you're interested, and we'll see you on Sunday. I don't know if there's going to be any left by the time you click, but check that out. It's very limited availability to meet and take a photo and get some autographs from Kelee Ringo. Um, who had a good game Saturday, I think, him and the other DBs. But if Georgia is going to get where it wants to go, A.D. Mitchell would make that easier. They don't have to have him, but it would make that easier. Why? Why would it make it easier? How many guys last season made a play like this for Georgia? Not a lot, right? They had some, but this was the game winning. This was the play that put Georgia back on top. And here's what Kirby said: down 18, 13 with time melting off the fourth quarter clock. Georgia was backed up on second down due to a sack. The Dogs needed to make something happen. Stetson made the call. Train RT, red tank double go on Tuesday, meaning on 2. A.D. Mitchell burst down the field and beat Kyrie Jackson for a 40-yard touchdown, and the Dogs were back on top. 80 on top, that won the game, Kirby Smart told the team in the locker room after the game. We got a diagram on it. If you still want our instruction, that is definitely available down below as well. You can maneuver your way towards buying it. Folks are definitely still getting it. We're going to have some new stuff with our instruction here very shortly to tell you all about. And, 80's in there because of that play and others. I mean, he started getting going about a week ago, about 53 weeks ago, it was that the Tennessee game on for him was a big deal. Obviously, the touchdown in the Orange Bowl. I almost said Sugar Bowl. For our friends at the Sugar Bowl right back here, you never get to see that, do you? Great, they do a great job at the Sugar Bowl. It does not look like Georgia's headed to the Sugar Bowl this year, but AD. Was explosive, was difficult to handle, and getting him back is going to be a big part of what November and December are going to be like. Now, if AD gets back out there on Sunday and plays, excuse me, on Saturday, y'all, I'm sorry. If he gets back out there on Saturday and plays, that is a really, really good sign for the playoff, okay? If he doesn't, I don't think that means you're in dire straits with him as it relates to this season. Let's not forget that George Pickens came back at the Tech game. I believe he made a big play against Alabama, although I cannot recall exactly. He certainly did in Indianapolis. That might be what I'm thinking of. But he played against Tech, got a reception. They just kind of had him out there. And then he played against Alabama, played against Michigan, and played against Alabama again. Now that's, almost 5 games of playing, or 4. And for Mitchell, I don't think you can just go out there and play. Like you kind of like at a highest level. You've got to work your way into it a little bit. Like so to think that he would just go out there and fly up and down the field, I don't know if I believe that is something that's going to happen. I mean, this we're talking about a guy who's dealt with an injury that's been an annoying injury, to be clear. We're talking about a person with high energy, um, who consistently has performed when he's been at Georgia. It's it would be big to get him back. He's another offensive weapon. I thought he would be their biggest receiver of this season. He's just not been able to play. Now they've worked around it and still, slashed and burned a lot of people that they've seen, but not having him out there is not dissimilar from not having George. It's not the same thing. George is probably a higher level prospect in terms of the NFL, but you're missing out on one of your receivers. You need receivers out there. I mean, there's times that you need guys to go make plays. Would people be would Ladd have had the moment in time that he had against Kent State if AD had been around taking away more responsibility during the week and during the I don't know, but you would have had another weapon. The whole point here is to get as many weapons as possible and use them. And they've not been able to use one of their biggest, weapons. I keep saying that word over and over again because of something he's been dealing with. Now that will change over time. Eventually he will get out there. I mean, it's November 15th. The national championship game is not until the 9th of January. So you're talking about almost 2 months. The SEC championship game is, 10 days away. So there are still moments for AD to get back. There's plenty of time. But it would be nice to see him back out there. If you get him back out there, Tennessee dealt with a lack of their, best receiver being out for the bulk of the season. It really didn't affect them. It's not necessarily affected Georgia either, but I do think people are eager to get AD back out there to see what he's got and to see how high these dogs can fly. Hey, thanks for watching. We'll see you on the website.